Alright, so let's try to come up with a simple melody for melodic, deep, techno, housey kind of track. And we're going to work in A minor here, so a minor scale, and we're going to use this sound. So a sustained sound, and it's coming out of this mini Moog synthesizer here, so it sounds quite analog. And it contains those delay elements, and it also contains a little bit of vibrato or LFO on the sustained note, if you listen. So in the tail, there's a little bit of movement here. So the sound is kind of asking for a more sustained melody. Let's go into the note editor. So we're working in A minor, so A could be regarded as our root note. And I'm just going to start playing around with A. Let's just play A along. And let's actually try to combine two notes, because one of them will be playing our bass with more or less the same instrument, and the other one later is going to play the melody on top. So I'm going to play the third along here. A minor third. And you could, for example, go play another third. Make sure to never play any black keys when in A minor. Let's go down one octave with the lower notes. Alright, so very standard here. You could also think of putting this one down to D and F. So something along these lines would obviously work, but I kind of want to instill a different mood here. It shouldn't be sounding too happy, and happy is basically what you get when you're moving upwards here. I don't really want to move up the ladder in that manner, so I'm going back, trying something else here. And let's actually go down from A. So before we had our intervals of thirds going up, and now we have our intervals of thirds going down. Before it sounded happy, now it sounds more contemplative or melancholic, and it kind of asks for a resolution here at the end, and you would probably find a resolution like this. And drag this one longer. If you want to be fancy, you can start it here. Now with this one, we are getting a more contemplative and melancholic mood, and you can even go ahead and imagine the second part for this one. So we copy it, repeating but also varying a little bit. And by entering this variation, what we're doing is we're playing intervals of thirds here, and we're playing the fifth in this case, and then we're going down playing more thirds. So this would be a very, very basic solution for playing those more sustained melodies here. They're kind of attached to a chord as well. It's something very basic you can do when you're working with these types of sounds, but I'm still looking for something different here. Let's move a little bit away from this concept here and just pick out one or two elements here to work with. So for example, I like F and A. I think it sounds nice with this sound. And also I like this one. And well, maybe, but let's try and start with A and F here. So I'm getting rid of this. And then just want to listen to this. So we could be playing something along these lines, and let's now look for a nice transition here. And let me shorten this one. Actually start this one a little earlier maybe. Let's see how this sounds. Let's pick up this G but play it an octave higher. And get rid of this B. Okay, I kind of like that. So we are playing A, which is our root of the scale. Then we're playing F, which is our 6th scale degree. And then E, which is our 5th. And then we are landing on our C, which is the 3rd scale degree, playing on top of the bass note A here. And the other one, A, is playing on top of the bass note F. So that kind of sounds interesting. So basically playing F major and A minor here. Now let's also try to find some nice transition notes for our bass pattern down here. I'm shortening this one. I'm just going to play around with a couple of notes. Okay, and let's see what note we can fit in here. Let's try G. Doesn't sound too bad. Don't want to play A because A is coming up here. Don't want to play F because F is coming up here. Don't want to play C because we're already playing it here. So what's left? B. Okay, that sounded weird. I think that's okay. How about E? Okay, how about D? Hear that again. Okay, I kind of like this, but I think G would also work. So let's try to find fitting notes for this one here. And we're at G here. We're coming from A. We kind of try to go back into F afterwards after finishing this one here. So we could try to remain closely around F so the step isn't too big. So let's try something like G here. But G is already playing up here. So maybe go down by a third compared to G, which would be E. Okay, E works, but maybe we put it into the second position because it's so closely to F already, and then we can come up from D. And I kind of want to play G a bit earlier here, so maybe we can do it like this. Okay, so I like this. And we have this nice movement downward here. And then we are moving upward here again. So we're getting this type of contour here. And we can actually copy this pattern now and repeat it in the second part, or in this part A and this part B. And then maybe come up with a slight variation for it as well. Because we want to avoid sounding boring with playing the same 4 bars all the time. So duplicating it, and we're playing it here again. In this style of music, I don't think there's much we have to do, but just find that one piece of variation here in the second part. Try to do something with this one here, maybe split it up. And where do we have to go? I want to go back to A. So we don't want to play A. We just played C. What else could we play? B. Okay, kind of works, but it's very defensive. Actually, play it along with this one here. So, 3 16th notes. Okay, let's try something else. What about D? Okay, what about F? No, absolutely not. Doesn't sound resolving at all. Let's go up to G, which is the octave of this G. Okay, I kind of like G here. Okay, so we are surely done with our bass, so I'm quickly going to deactivate the bass notes here in our lead, and I'm going to put them into the actual bass instrument. So I'm copying the bass notes, copy them into my bass instrument, and I'm going to deactivate them here. So we are playing those with a different instrument, and this one is now focusing on the lead. Now you can put in more variations, of course. If this pattern is too simple, you could go and do stuff like this, for example. And then maybe go something like this. Do this thing again here with playing this note. So these are possible variations. So I'm going to undo this. So what do we have here? So it's fairly simple what is happening here in the end. We're just playing F major and A minor, and we're playing the third together with the bass note. So it's always C and A here, which is a third, and it's A and F here, which is another third. And then we're just trying to find simple but nice sounding transitions that will lead us back into the other chord. Using that in combination with the Moog sound, we are creating a certain mood here. It sounds nice and contemplative, and it actually just works with those thirds.